The key factor in spirituality is remembering that there's a lot of people who are going to live in the past and never be awakened. There are going to be people who enjoy living in the past and they don't want to come to the future. And there's going to be people who remain in the past because they've never done the work and they just don't know where to start or don't know how or are not willing. This is the part of spirituality that I had to learn so many times over and over and over again because spirituality is a path. It's not the only path. It's just a really good path if you can handle the truth. Because spirituality is not here to make you feel good. Spirituality is here to tell you the truth. Religion makes you feel good. It will tell you whatever you need to hear to make sure that you stay disciplined and obedient to whatever scripture is written. Again, I am not faulting anyone for believing in any religion, but when it becomes your identity and you don't know who you are and you're only repeating things and regurgitating text and words that somebody else wrote with no actual empathetic, genuine connection to what you're saying, then yes, I'm probably talking to you. Spirituality, in essence, is saying life and death happens. Growth is going to happen, destruction is going to happen. You have to know how to handle both. You're never not going to get away from it, which is why we endure pain, which is why we feel, which is why things can happen to us. And then we're like, oh man, I probably shouldn't do that again. This life, this world, for some reason has consequence. It's not for me to say the universe or God is doing it. No, there is just a world where if things are not in balance, you will fall off on the other side, depending on which side of polarity you choose to go to. One is the deep, dark pit of nothing with spikes and this, and the other one's fluffy pillows. Sometimes they're going to be decorated and flipped the other way around, and it's for your discernment to figure out which one has the pillows. That's the video game. That's the part of spirituality that can be fun if you allow it to be fun, right? There's the parts where you're going to be like, this is not fun. I never asked for this. And that's when people say, oh, well, you did. You signed up for it. Because anytime you do something that's scary or hard or that you don't want to do, if you come out the other end and succeed, you laugh. You can't help but laugh like, ugh. That was not funny in that moment, but now that I did it, it's not that bad. But when you're still in it, it is the worst thing ever. And you're cussing out everybody and everything because you're like, why am I stuck here? This isn't cool. This isn't fun. The universe is literally like an explorer's trail. It's like you came on my trail. You were supposed to be experienced. If you're not experienced, you're going to get experienced on this trail because that's the part of the journey. And if you keep going back into the journey over and over and over, you're going to start recognizing that you don't have to repeat it all the time. Once you know the disciplines and the practices that work for you, then you just keep them as reminders to just apply to your life daily as affirmations, as meditations, as principles of beliefs that you implement every day, like waking up and making your bed, making sure you get some type of fluid in your system that hydrates you in the morning, doing morning salutations, right? You can still go out and drink and party if you want to, if you choose to, or you can live a super Buddhist life where you eat nothing but raw and everything healthy, and you do whatever you want to do in the grass, right? I believe in both. The main part is knowing that you're tapped into spirituality, knowing that nature is not beyond us. Nature is us. We're not above nature. We are nature. And the more we don't realize the reflection of self is spirituality in nature, of how things grow, of how we're connected to the earth, of how we eat food and everything, right? How we grow our materials and utilize them for other things. This is nature. May it be through man-made or not, nature is still propelling it. Fire, water, air, the natural elements, earth, all these things are still a part of the production process of any product or anything that we're utilizing as humans, as a tool, as a novelty, as a weapon, right? It all comes from source material. So that's why I believe my spiritual practice is loving the earth. Loving on the earth as much as possible. Again, we're not all going to be perfect, but you can still focus on what they say your carbon footprint, trying to use less plastic, trying to use less things that are going to make more waste, right? I'm not perfect of that, but I try to stay as conscious of it as possible. That's the whole point. Each one of us individually, if we are staying conscious of what's possible, then we can create any possibility. That's how dreams become reality. That's how buildings go from groundwork sketch to someone making a blueprint to it becoming a feasible, actual, tangible building because someone else saw the belief. And then they gave people money, which is a belief, to build it. Right? This is how it works. So what spirituality is saying is you're not going to always love the way it works out, because the balance of life is there's other things around you that are trying to balance out. So it's like this intricate teeter-totter of different things from different directions balancing off one another. That's why we talk about the butterfly effect and the ripple effect. In a perfect world, anything you did, you wouldn't affect anybody. Great. But each and every one of us affects someone somehow, some way. From simply when you go to the bathroom and wash your hands, and if you take the paper towel and throw it on the floor, if you put in garbage, that moment is going to affect someone. May it be the person who works there or just somebody who walks in. And they're like, who takes the time to throw it on the floor? The trash is right there. Right? Like, it's that mentality. Now you just passed on that energy of whatever you were feeling to the next person. That's why I believe in spirituality of emotional intelligence, because there's many levels of spirituality. I focus on emotional intelligence because with the spiritual practice, when we say we're speaking to entities and deities, they do exist. But if you don't know who's talking to you or how they talk, you will let something come into your body that ain't meant to be there. And now you believe in things and saying things that you really don't believe deep down in your core, and you start to feel like, why does this not feel connected to me? Why do I feel like imposter syndrome? Because you know that you're not really believing something. You don't really practice that. You're just saying it because everyone else is and you want to fit in, right? That's the part where spirituality helps you differentiate between this is meant for me, this isn't meant for me. This is good for me, this isn't good for me. To me, spiritual practice is simply about balance. Finding the balance. What's the homeostasis? How do I get back to center? When you do that, then you start understanding that, again, spiritual practices are here to teach us about ourselves. Religion is here to teach us about the world, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But spirituality, in essence, is here to teach you about yourself, which is the world. Religion teaches you about the world of other people's beliefs and other people's religion. And that's what I've learned through religion. Anytime I was in church or something, it always sounded like they were talking about other. There's always this other they're talking about. This God out there, these things out there, this concept out there. It's out there. It's not in you, it's out there. And that's where I try not to get stuck in too many man-made religions. Spirituality, on the other hand, is it's in here. What do I feel? What do I believe? What do I trust? Right? What do I see as experience of my own actual life experience that I can make applicable, that I see the truth through my own actions? That's the part of spirituality that we all want to get to, and that's the part of spirituality that I believe in. So, trust your gut intuition when it comes to how you feel. When something is off, that's an indicator. When you're pissed off for no reason, ask why. I said it before, interrogate your fear. Find out what's going on. I talked about finding your joy or your what beliefs you believe, what you follow. So if for me, if I interrogate my fear and my God is joy, baby, I'm on the right path, because joy is always going to win over fear. Because joy is like, it is what it is, and fear is like, well, what about this? And joy is like, I don't care. I'm still going to do it because it brings me joy, even if it's momentary. Joy is going to find a way. Fear is going to try to hold you back. And that's why I say, when you know yourself enough, spirituality taught me this. Applying these lessons to my life daily is what got me to this point of believing that I know and I'm confident in what I say. And again, no one has to take my truth as their truth. It's just a guide to help you along your journey. So I hope this one makes sense. Anywho, love ya. Mwah.